This is the Sunday Motivational Video. Every Sunday, we bring you a different type of video which should improve your life. Today, we're looking at 15 ways to make $1 million. Welcome to alux.com, the place where future billionaires come to get inspired. Hello, Aluxers. Can you believe it's been a full week already? We hope you've been following your dreams and putting in the work. The goal with our Sunday videos was always to motivate and give some inside knowledge, which you can leverage to your own advantage if you choose to. When we asked you guys what your immediate financial goal was on Instagram at Alux, most of you said that it was to make your first million. So that's what we're doing today. Making $1 million sounds like a lot of money if you've never earned high figures before. It might seem like an obsolete objective, but the truth is, 1,700 new millionaires are created each day. That's over 620,000 new millionaires every year. So how do they do it? How come so many people become millionaires, and why can't you do the same? Well, it's all about positioning and how valuable you are to the marketplace. If the marketplace thinks you deserve $1 million or more, it will in turn give you that amount. In order to make this video, we researched people whom we know about and have made more than $1 million in the last couple of years. Who knows? Maybe one of them will spark an idea which will be the beginning of a long journey for you. If you're new here, welcome. Be sure to subscribe and follow us on Instagram at Alux. With that said, here are 15 ways to make $1 million. Number 1. Be in the top 1% of a lucrative profession. Shocking, right? Be really good at a job that pays really well. It's super easy to become a millionaire if you know what you're doing and you're specialized. Doctors, lawyers, and upper management in the US and Europe earn on average over $150,000 per year. If you're really good at what you do and hyper-specialized, you can double or even triple that amount. The highest paying job with the lowest barriers of entry is sales. If you know how to sell, you can make a ton of money no matter where you find yourself. Compared to doctors and lawyers, the 1% of salespeople earn north of $250,000 per year, which will have them pass the $1 million mark in just 4 years. Not to mention that selling is an incredibly valuable skill for all strategies we discuss throughout this video. We'll make a video on the best books on selling sometime soon, but if you want to start today, we recommend you pick up the 10X Rule by Grant Cardone or the Sales Bible by Jeffrey Gitomer. You can get one of them for free as an audiobook when you sign up at alux.com/freebook. Speaking of books, number 2. Write several books that sell okay. The trap many people fall into is they think you need to write the next Harry Potter or 50 Shades of Grey in order to get rich from books. The likelihood of you knocking it out of the park is incredibly low. With that said, getting to $1 million from writing books is a pretty doable job if you find the right angle and an audience willing to purchase. Few people know this, but in order to become a New York Times best-selling author, you only need to sell around 10,000 books. It can even be as low as 5,000 books if you've been on the list before. If your writing is good, just keep putting out more and more books until one of them is a hit. There are plenty of examples of people who did it this way, but our favorite by far is Amanda Hocking. You probably have no idea who she is. She's been rejected by almost every single publisher in the game. None of her novels were given a shot. She was broke but really wanted to go to a Muppets convention, but she needed the money for gas to drive to the event. In order to make some of the $300 she needed, she self-published her novels on Kindle. 1 month later, she had made over $20,000, so she added all of her novels up there. 20 months into it, she's made over $2.5 million from books which were not good enough to be picked up by a publisher. Pro tip, if you have a podcast, blog, a YouTube channel, any form of audience, people will want to support your efforts and are even willing to pre-order your work just to share the journey with you. Number 3. License a patent or trademark to a big company. Another creative way to add value to the world is by being an inventor, designer, or engineer. If you can figure out a way to solve a problem better than what's out there already, you could be sitting on a gold mine. A great example of this is Lonnie Johnson. Again, you probably have no idea who he is, but you've probably heard of the Super Soaker. while toying around, pun intended. He created this cool toy, but didn't have the skills to create an entire company, produce, market, and sell individual products. So he licensed the technology to a company called Hasbro. He got paid a 3% royalty out of the price of every unit sold, making over $100 million from this deal alone. He now has 80 patents and a net worth of over $350 million. Pro tip: we know patents are expensive, but there are certain ways to protect yourself, even without having an internationally issued patent. What you need to do is to document how your invention works in extreme details. Have that in writing and burned into a CD or USB drive, and mail it in a sealed envelope to yourself. When the envelope arrives back, it should contain the date and stamp of a government institution. Never break that seal. If it comes down to it, this is your undeniable proof that you were the first one to figure this out, and rights should be awarded to you in a patent case, or at least end up in a highly lucrative settlement. Number 4. Start a dropshipping company under your own label. For those of you who have no idea what dropshipping is, it's a very fun and interesting business model where you find a supplier, someone who can create, package, and deliver a product on your behalf. Your job is to bring in the sales. Here's how it goes. Let's say you found a supplier who can package and deliver weight loss tea from China for $5 per package. You now set up a website where you can sell that exact product for $20 a piece. When the order comes in, you send over the $5 to the supplier with the details from the order, who takes care of everything and delivers the item to the buyer on your behalf, yourself keeping the remaining $15. Cha-ching, profit! We didn't choose weight loss tea by accident either. We've actually studied and analyzed the success a young entrepreneur named Greta Van Riel had in this space. She's the one who started the entire Instagram model fitness tea phenomenon. 6 months into her business, she was bringing in over $500,000 per month. If that number shocks you, you might want to read up on her, since she's one of our personal heroes. During new product launches, she made over $1 million in a single day, just to let you know that these kinds of numbers are possible. You know how Kylie Jenner is almost a billionaire now? She's been using the dropshipping model as well. She owns 100% of the company and has only 6 employees. All production and fulfillment is outsourced to a different company. Number 5. Start a small business and keep growing. Although most of the ideas mentioned on this list are super specific, the way most people end up millionaires is by creating a small business and just growing it. We know it sounds a tad more general, but this comprises the hustler mindset, which is focused on growth. Starting a new business is always difficult, but the path is more or less the same no matter which business you choose. It all starts with solving a problem, figuring out how to get paid, and then bringing in people so you can focus on what is important for the business to grow. Everyone has a few business ideas in their heads. It's just a matter of implementation. Although that might sound overwhelming, the process is pretty straightforward and simple. That's why we've created a video called 15 Things to Know When Starting a Business, which you can check out by clicking in the top right corner. If you're planning on starting your first business, there probably isn't a more important video to watch than that one. Number 6. Aggressively save money and put it in index funds for several years. You need to understand the power of the compound interest and use it to get rich. Someone might say it's the most important mathematical discovery in the world, and by someone, we mean Albert Einstein, who numerous times said, "Compound interest is the 8th wonder of the world. He who understands it, earns it. He who doesn't, pays it." If you understand money and investment funds, you know that a 7% annual return is easily doable. Now it's a matter of just how much money you can save. Traditional strategies go like this. If you're able to save 10% of your yearly income, and let's say you earn $50,000 per year, it will take you 40 years to get $1 million saved. But who wants to be a millionaire when they're old? That's not the ALUX way. But it gets a lot more interesting if you're able to play around with those numbers. You should try to increase all 3 most important variables. 1. The amount of money you earn. 2. The amount of money you're able to put aside. And 3. The return on your investment. While the first two depend on your own choices, the third one, on the other hand, is pretty straightforward. For example, the first thing we should do is take the money out of a 7% mutual fund and put it in an index fund, like the S&P 500. For those of you new to this, the S&P 500 is a fund made out of the top 500 companies in the US. If a company is not performing well, it gets taken out and replaced by a new, worthy company. For the past 90 years, the S&P 500 generated an average of 10% yearly returns. Although we're not sponsored by them, we would recommend you look into Vanguard and Robinhood. And if you're not the entrepreneurial type, meaning you're not sure how to create a multi-million-dollar company by selling products or services, there's this really great book by Tony Robbins called Money: Master the Game, which we cannot recommend enough. It's the book we gift our friends on how to get rich in the safest way possible. You can even get the audiobook for free if you sign up at alux.com/freebook. Number 7. Do an ICO. For the past couple of years, crypto has been the wild, wild west of money. The amount of people who get really rich really fast on crypto has been astonishing to us. For those not familiar with the crypto terminology, initial coin offerings, also known as ICOs, are an alternative form of crowdfunding, where a company issues tokens at a discounted price so they can use the early funding to create a digital service which will run on said tokens. If the product is successful, your initial tokens could skyrocket in value based on the demand for them. We would not actually recommend investing in other people's ICOs unless you know them to be trustworthy and have a solid team behind them. Instead, create your own blockchain-based company and seek private investors to back it up. Only after the product has gained some traction, you should be ready for your own ICO, where you open it up to the public as early investors. Every single type of financial-related service is getting disrupted by blockchain. Your goal is to find out where you fit into the cluster of new services. No matter what your stance on Bitcoin or Ethereum is, blockchain is here to stay, and we would actually recommend you start teaching yourself more and more about the industry if you want to make some sense of it in the future. Number 8. Purchase a franchise and make it really successful. If you're not the creative type, a franchise is a simple and lucrative way to get yourself into business because somebody else has already optimized it for you. You just need to make sure things keep on moving the way they should. A franchise, for those of you who don't know, is a company that creates a lucrative business with an already established brand that's made out of simplified systems which can be duplicated over and over again. Think McDonald's or Starbucks. So, how does this work? You reach out to the company with the aim of buying a franchise. There are two types of costs you need to know about: a standard franchise fee and a percentage of the business you're generating. In exchange for this money, the company provides all the tools you need to get the business up and running. You can find profitable franchises starting as low as $10,000, but depending on what you're looking for, there are obviously more expensive options. For example, a Dunkin' Donuts franchise fee is between $40,000 and $90,000, depending on location. But that's not all. The company requires you to have at least $250,000 in liquid assets just to make sure you can keep the thing running. It's up to you to find the right franchise for your geography and budget. Number 9. Create a subscription service where 1,000 people pay $83 per month. Okay, it's time we introduced you Aluxers to what's called millionaire math, which means in how many ways can you get to $1 million in 1 year? Off the top of our heads, considering subscription services, you have 5,000 people pay you $17 per month for 12 months. 2,000 people pay you $42 per month for 12 months. 1,000 people pay you $83 per month for 12 months. 500 people pay you $167 per month for 12 months, or 300 people pay you $278 per month for 12 months. You get the idea. All of these will get you to the seven-figure promised land. That's why everybody is doing subscription services these days, and you've seen the popularity of the likes of Netflix, Tidal, and Apple Music increase. Just to put things into perspective, as of 2018, Netflix has 125 million subscribed users to its service with a minimum of $7.99 per month. In 2017, they did over $11 billion in revenue. It's always shocking to us to see how many people never do the math on these things. Once you realize the kind of numbers you need to be making, it's a pretty straightforward game to play. It's all about finding a service people are willing to pay and stick around for. Number 10. Work for someone who's a multi-millionaire. Or even better, work for someone who's a billionaire. The quickest way to making your first $1 million is to work directly for someone who's made $1 billion. Rich people value time above everything else, and they really value people who are able to save them time. The best way to do this is to find someone who's incredibly wealthy and help them either save time or make money. Either way, you'll find that their generosity is directly proportional to the value you bring into their life. Now, before you take a shot at this, it's important to know that you should already have a trust-based relationship with that wealthy individual. The last thing you want to do, and we cannot stress this enough, is to spam the hell out of people with how you have this idea which will change the world. Believe it or not, even we get at least 100 emails like this every month, which we never reply to. When most people think of multimillionaires, they usually envision entrepreneurs starting companies. But the truth is, roughly 1 in 5 millionaires work for someone else, and that's how they got rich. If you think about it, you're more likely to become a millionaire by working for a wealthy individual than by becoming a millionaire by starting your own business. If this is your plan, we recommend you find yourself a mentor. These people are open to helping you grow. They provide guidance and opportunities which you wouldn't have access to otherwise. If they trust you enough, they'll bring you into their organizations and make sure you're taken care of. If you want to learn how to find a mentor and the advantages having one will bring into your life, then click in the top right corner because we have got you covered. Number 11. Go viral on YouTube. Who would have thought that going viral on YouTube could make you a millionaire? This all changed in the last couple of years. It obviously depends on the type of video, if it's advertiser-friendly, and who is watching the video, but a ballpark figure would be somewhere between 500 million and 1 billion views. For example, Gangnam Style alone made Psy over $8 million. It's not all YouTube advertising alone, but the exposure got him plenty of extra opportunities, and Psy is still cashing in big. Believe it or not, that video is still making him decent money today. You also have large creators leveraging their YouTube fame in order to create additional revenue sources, like the Paul brothers do with their merch lines, or how Jeffree Star did with his makeup line. YouTube is the new TV, which is why we're here ourselves. Number 12. Have a blog that gets over 41 million views per month. Speaking of advertising, having a popular blog can still make you a multimillionaire. When we started out, Alux.com was focused on publishing articles on luxury topics, and we still get a lot of visitors to those articles. One of the people we've been following closely in this space was Scott DeLong, the creator of Viral Nova. For those of you who don't know the website, he's been at the forefront of viral articles distributed through Facebook, very similar to what BuzzFeed used to do, and, to be honest, still does. He started Viral Nova in 2014 and sold it 1.5 years later for reportedly $100 million. During November and December, he was already generating over $1 million per month from advertising revenues alone. Out of everything we mentioned on this list, getting over 40 million readers per month on your blog is probably the most difficult one to do, unless you're able to do what Scott did and ride a new wave which people hadn't figured out yet. Number 13. Make an app that 1 million people use. There's still a ton of money to be made with apps if you know what you're doing and can actually offer a valuable service. The problem with apps is that unless the user feels the need to return to the app on a frequent basis, you've already lost. The app ecosystem has evolved in the past couple of years, from Candy Crush making almost $1 million per day at their peak, to the meditation app Calm, which just recently was valued at $250 million, to now Fortnite passing $1 billion in just 3 months through in-app purchases. The secret to most apps has been the ability to bring in additional revenue within the app. Depending on how much revenue you can extract from every single user, the road to the first $1 million can be a lot shorter than expected if the customers find value in what you're offering. If you really want to score big with apps, there's a book which we could recommend called How to Build a Billion-Dollar App by the guy who created Candy Crush, in which they break down how to conceptualize and scale this kind of project. You'll find a link to the book in the description, or get the audiobook for free when you sign up at alux.com/freebook. Number 14. Get over 100,000 Twitch subscribers. Live streaming is going mainstream, and some might even say it already has. You have the likes of Ninja, who are spearheading this movement, generating between $500,000 and $1 million every month from streaming alone. For those of you who have no idea what we're talking about, Twitch is a platform which allows users to broadcast themselves in real time. This type of technology has been quickly adopted by gamers who broadcast themselves playing video games. All good? So, how do they make money? There are multiple revenue streams here, the main one being paid subscriptions. There are different tiers of subscribers on Twitch: $4.99, $9.99, and $24. This amount being split between the streamer and the platform. In addition to the paid subscription, viewers can donate money directly to the streamer in order to show support. And then there's the good old finding a big sponsor who's paying a streamer to endorse their product, like the type of deal that Ninja has made with Red Bull. The ballpark figure to shoot for is 100,000 paid subscribers, but you can get to $1 million with less than 50,000 if they're generous enough. Number 15. Buy, flip, repeat. This is a fundamental rule of hustling and one of the most common ways to make some more money. This is what commerce was built on, and it's capitalism in its purest form. Find something you can purchase at one price, then sell it for more to someone who's willing to pay a premium for it. This buy, flip, repeat strategy has taken many forms throughout the years, and we are always excited to see it evolve depending on how the culture is changing. Our favorite story is the one revolving around 16-year-old Benjamin Kicks, who's making over $1 million per year reselling sneakers. Sneaker culture is big, and people are willing to pay good money to get their hands on anything that's exclusive, like how people are paying $500 for bricks that have the Supreme logo on them. But anyways, back to Ben. In the sneaker space, everyone knows Ben. Business is booming. He started out when his mom bought him a pair of sneakers, which he sold to a classmate for almost double what he paid for. Then he went ahead and started buying more. A few months pass by, and celebrities are looking to get their hands on a type of sneakers that this kid has, so they reach out. Next thing you know, he's selling sneakers to DJ Khaled, French Montana, Future, and more. The most expensive pair of sneakers he sold was $20,000, and now he has an entire operation for reselling sneakers. People also do this in different markets: buying, fixing, flipping cars, houses, antiques, you name it. It's all about understanding how much some people are willing to pay for something and getting it for less than that. Now, Aluxers, we're curious to know, what are you doing right now to get your first $1 million? Let us know in the comments and we'll try to provide you some feedback. Now, we know this has been a really long video, so for those of you who are still with us, here's your bonus. Number 16. Come up with such an original, crazy idea that it might just work. If those ideas previously mentioned are pretty straightforward, this time we're encouraging you guys to look way outside the box and let your creativity free. Who knows what might come out? There's this guy who made $15 million selling rocks as pets to people. Another who made $1 million by selling pixels on his website for $1 million each. This woman became a multi-millionaire by selling sunglasses for dogs, and these guys will send a message on a potato on your behalf. The world is filled with crazy stories, and we hope this list sparked an idea inside of you. If you've watched up to this point and you're already on your journey to becoming a millionaire, please write "first million" in the comments below, and we'll wish you luck. It's always great to see how many of you are watching these videos all the way to the end. Thank you for spending some time with us, Aluxers. Make sure to like and subscribe so you never miss another video. We also handpicked these videos, which we recommend you watch next. Thank you for being an Aluxer, and we'll see you back tomorrow.